Before we start, please make sure to like this video and hit this subscribe button so you never miss a story like this. And also comments where you are watching from, how many sons and daughters you have. Thanks.
My name is Linda. I'm from Savannah, Georgia. And I've always believed in one thing: family should protect you, not betray you. But the day I walked into my living room and saw my own daughter screaming at me, like I had done something wrong, was the day I realized blood doesn't always mean loyalty. You think you're gonna just sit there and cry? You should be thanking me, Mom. That's the first thing Ashley yelled at me when I confronted her. I stood in my own home, hands shaking, holding the letter from the bank. A $100,000 loan. In my name. And my daughter? My only child? She had the audacity to scream at me like I was the villain in this story. Thanking you? I fired back, my voice cracking with rage. You stole my name. You forged my signature. You let some man, your husband, buy Rolexes and rims while I worked overtime just to keep this house. I tossed the letter across the table. It landed between us like a bomb. Ashley rolled her eyes and crossed her arms. Oh my God, Mom. You act like I murdered someone. You murdered my credit. I shouted. You murdered my peace. Then I saw him, Ryan, slinking in from the hallway like the snake he is. Designer belt, slicked back hair, that smug little smirk he always wore when he knew he was winning. Yo, chill, Linda. It's just paper. Ain't like you were using that money anyway. I lost it. You son of a. I lunged across the table. I didn't even realize I had thrown the photo frame until I heard the glass shatter on the floor next to him. Ashley gasped like I had lost my mind. You're acting insane, she cried. You're being so dramatic. Dramatic? I raised her. I fed her when I couldn't even afford to eat. I worked 3 jobs so she could go to prom in the dress she wanted. I put her through community college, and this is how she repays me? Letting her boy husband blow $100,000 on custom sneakers, gambling, and some Instagram business that was nothing but a pyramid scam? Dramatic? I whispered, my voice low now, trembling. You think this is dramatic? Just wait till the sheriff comes to seize this house. Or when I can't buy my prescriptions because I have no credit left. You've stolen my life, Ashley. And still, she stood by him. Defending him. Defending them. She snatched the letter from the table and waved it in my face like it was junk mail. You're overreacting. We were gonna pay it back. When? I screamed. You've had the money for 6 months. The bank just called because the payments are late and now they're coming for me. Ryan stepped forward, still smug. You think yelling's gonna fix this, lady? You want me to fix it, I will. But don't come crying to me when you ain't got nobody left. And that right there? That was the moment. That's when I knew they weren't going to fix anything. They never planned to. They used me. My own daughter used me. And now they were gaslighting me like I was the problem. So I stopped crying. I stood still. I wiped my face. And I looked them both dead in the eyes. You think I'm done? No, baby. I've just started. Ashley blinked. What does that mean? It means, I said coldly, when the bank comes knocking, I won't be the one answering the door. Because if there's one thing I've learned as a mother, it's that you can survive heartbreak. But betrayal? That demands justice. They thought I'd roll over. Cry in a corner. Let the debt crush me like some tired old woman who couldn't fight back. But what they forgot is that I raised a daughter alone. I survived cancer. I pulled myself up from food stamps and eviction notices, and I never once asked for a handout. So no, I wasn't going to let this go. I wasn't going to cry myself to sleep every night thinking of the home I worked for, ripped from me by the 2 people I trusted most. I was going to flip this story. If someone you love has betrayed you, don't stay silent. If you've been taken advantage of financially, emotionally, spiritually, know this. You are not weak. You are not done. You still hold the pen. You still write the ending. Keep watching. Because what I did next? Let's just say, they never saw it coming. And when I hit back smart. I walked into that bank like a woman on a mission. Not scared. Not ashamed. Not asking for mercy. No, I walked in there like someone who'd just crawled out of hell and wasn't about to go back. The air was cold, fake, corporate. It smelled like fake leather and desperation. I clutched the letter in my hand so tight my knuckles turned white. Linda Carter, I told the front desk woman. I have an appointment. Someone here needs to explain how a 6-figure loan was approved without my knowledge. She glanced at the screen and nodded. Please have a seat. Mr. Daniels will be with you shortly. I didn't sit. I couldn't sit. Because my whole life had been flipped upside down by people who sat too long and said nothing. When Mr. Daniels finally came out, a slick-haired man in a tight navy suit, he greeted me with a handshake and a smile too wide to be sincere. Mrs. Carter, thank you for coming in. Let's get this resolved. Resolved? Resolved? As if this was a billing error or a typo. We sat in a glass-walled office. He closed the door. And that's when I pulled out every piece of paperwork I'd gathered from my kitchen counter over the last 3 days. Loan approval. Signature authorization. 6 months of unpaid statements. All with my name on them. None with my actual handwriting. Someone forged these, I said calmly. That is not my signature. I've never applied for this loan. I don't even know how you people approved this. Mr. Daniels smiled like he'd heard this story before. I understand your frustration, ma'am, but the loan went through proper channels. It was verified with your ID and social. Because someone stole them. I snapped, slamming my hand on the table. My daughter and her husband. They live with me. They had access to my files. They did this behind my back. He shifted, uncomfortable. Have you filed a police report? I have. Because I had. The second the bank called, I went to the station. Spoke to a detective. Gave names. Dates. Proof. You want to see something? I asked, reaching into my bag. Here. Here's a text message she sent me the night before I found out. Look at this. I handed him my phone. Ashley, don't freak out when the bank calls. We're handling it. Ryan says it's temporary. I watched his face change. I want to file a formal fraud report with this bank, I said. I want their names investigated. And I want every cent separated from MY credit. He blinked. Mrs. Carter, we can open a fraud dispute, but these investigations take time. No. No more time. I want my name cleared. And I want the account frozen immediately. There was a pause. He folded his hands. Ma'am, if you're claiming fraud, you're essentially saying your own daughter is guilty of a federal crime. I stared him down. She committed one. You think being related makes it any less illegal? He said nothing. Just nodded. Understood. I'll submit this now. But be prepared, this could get ugly. Too late, I muttered. It already is. By the time I got home, the front door was unlocked. The house was quiet. But my rage? It was boiling. Ashley was on the couch, scrolling her phone. Her Louis Vuitton knockoff purse sat next to her, stuffed with receipts and crumpled bills. Mom, she said casually, like nothing had happened, we talked about this. We said we'd handle it. I walked straight into the room and dropped the bank documents on the table. You're not handling anything. You're not going to touch this again. It's in the bank's hands now. And the police's. Her eyes widened. You what? She said, standing up. I filed a fraud report. With both the bank and the authorities. Her mouth dropped. You're turning me in? No. You turned yourself in the moment you forged my signature and ruined my life to buy Ryan another pair of gold-plated headphones. You're my mother, she screamed. You're supposed to protect me. No, Ashley, I said, voice trembling. I protected you for 26 years. I gave you everything. And you chose to rob me. Then Ryan appeared again. Smug as ever. She's bluffing, he said. She ain't gonna press charges. She can't survive without you. I looked him square in the eyes. You're about to find out just how well I survive. I picked up my phone. And I pressed play. A recording. From 3 nights ago. Ryan's voice, slurred, cocky, laughing. She won't even notice. She's too busy watching church reruns and popping Tylenol. Just fake her signature. I've done it before. Ashley lunged forward to grab the phone. I stepped back. Too late. I had already sent it to my lawyer. And the detective. People say blood is thicker than water. But you know what else is thick? The silence that comes after betrayal. The nights I sat alone wondering what I could have done differently. But in the end, I realized I didn't fail her. She failed herself. You can love someone with your whole soul. But if they don't love you back the same way, you owe them nothing. You have 5 days to respond. Or a warrant will be issued. That's what the letter said. And this time, it wasn't addressed to me. It was addressed to Ashley Carter and Ryan Lewis. When I opened that envelope and saw the official court seal stamped across the top, I didn't smile. I didn't celebrate. I didn't even breathe. I just sat there, staring at the weight of it, what it meant, what it cost, and what it would now expose. This wasn't some petty argument anymore. This wasn't a family squabble over bills or boundaries. This was fraud. Federal fraud. And it was about to hit them both like a freight train. The next morning, Ashley came storming down the stairs, barefoot, mascara smudged, shaking the envelope in her hand like it had burned her. What the hell is this, Mom? I didn't look up. I was sipping my coffee in silence. My lawyer said not to say much now that the case was open. But oh, the temptation. You turned us in for real? You got the cops involved. Are you trying to ruin us? I set my mug down gently. You ruined yourself. And now? Now, the law is just catching up. She scoffed, pacing back and forth like a lioness trapped in a zoo. No, you don't get to play the victim now. You knew we were struggling. Ryan hasn't had a stable job in a year. We were trying to build something. All you had to do was chill for a little while. Chill? I laughed. You stole 6 figures from your own mother and expected me to chill? Then Ryan appeared, shirtless, holding his phone and pretending like he was calm, but I could see the panic in his eyes. This is all bluff, he muttered. You're not gonna testify. You can't afford to. You'll look like a fool. Family doesn't turn on family. I stood up. Slowly. Funny you say that, I replied. Because when you were lying on a beach in Miami on my dime, where was your sense of family then? He looked away. Typical. All bark. No backbone. Ashley threw the court letter across the kitchen counter. You know what, Mom? Fine. Go ahead. Press charges. Just remember, I'm your daughter. And when this is over, you'll be alone. I looked her in the eyes. And I told her the truth. No. I won't be alone. I'll be free. Narrator reflection. People think court cases are about justice. Sometimes they are. But more often, they're about truth. About putting the lies out into the light, no matter how ugly they are. My lawyer had told me, once we file, it's going to get public. She may get arrested. He may too. Are you ready for that? I said yes. Because for the first time in years, I was choosing myself. Court hearing day 1. I wore my best. Simple, clean, strong. I didn't go to look fancy, I went to look undeniable. Ashley and Ryan sat across from me at the long, polished table. She didn't look so loud now. No fake lashes. No designer bag. Just a wrinkled blouse and red-rimmed eyes. The judge read the charges aloud. Identity theft. Forgery. Wire fraud. Credit abuse over $100,000. And then they showed the evidence. The recording. The text messages. The bank video footage showing Ryan inside with a copy of my ID. Ashley broke down first. I didn't know it was that serious, she cried. He said it was just temporary. The judge wasn't impressed. You used your mother's credit, her name, and her documents to apply for a fraudulent loan. And you failed to make a single payment. You knew it was illegal. Ryan, of course, tried to play the victim. She said she was okay with it. She even offered to co-sign. She didn't say anything for months, so I figured she approved. The judge leaned forward. We have no written consent. No verbal recording. And her financial records show she's been living paycheck to paycheck for years. Why would she suddenly agree to fund a luxury lifestyle? Silence. Dead, damning silence. Then the judge turned to me. Mrs. Carter. Do you have anything you'd like to say to the court? I stood. My voice was strong. Clear. Not angry. Just finished. Yes, Your Honor. I raised my daughter by myself. I worked 3 jobs to keep her clothed, fed, and safe. I taught her right from wrong. And I never asked for anything in return. But now, after she violated my trust, my privacy, and my dignity, I'm asking for justice. Not revenge. Just accountability. The courtroom was still. Even Ashley looked stunned. I wasn't yelling anymore. Because the truth speaks louder when it's calm. The case went through its motions. Eventually, Ashley took a plea deal. Ryan? Not so lucky. He refused to cooperate, thought he could beat it. He was sentenced to 2 years in federal prison. Ashley got probation and mandatory financial restitution. Every month now, a check shows up at my mailbox. It's not much. But that's not the point. The point is, my name is clean again. And more importantly, so is my conscience. You'd think once the court papers were signed, once the sentence was handed down, once the lies were dragged out into the light, that it would all just be over. But it's not. Because what nobody tells you about betrayal is this: the court ends it on paper. But it still bleeds in your heart. Ryan was gone. Locked up. Ashley was on probation, forced to pay monthly restitution and barred from opening any financial accounts for 5 years. It was justice. Yes. But it didn't feel like a win. I still walked into the grocery store with my head low. I still got those pity stares from the neighbors who used to admire my little family. And worst of all, I still walked into my home and saw every corner touched by my daughter's deception. The couch she lounged on while lying to me. The room I let her stay in rent-free while she handed out my money to a man who didn't lift a finger. Even my coffee mug had a crack now. Like everything else, it still worked, but it would never be the same. 3 months went by. Quiet. Too quiet. Then one Saturday morning, a knock came at my door. Soft. Hesitant. Familiar. I opened it. There she was. Ashley. Hair tied back. No makeup. Dark circles under her eyes. Wearing the same hoodie she used to wear in high school when she was sick. Except this time. I didn't ask her to come in. I just stood there. "Hey," she whispered. "Can I talk to you?" I didn't move. Didn't invite her in. Didn't slam the door either. I just waited. She looked down. Her voice cracked. "I'm sorry, Mom. For everything. I know I can't fix it. But I wanted you to know I've been trying. I've been working. I'm living with a friend. I haven't missed a single restitution payment." Still, I said nothing. She swallowed hard. "Ryan's gone. He's not coming back. And even if he does, I won't be there waiting. I see it now. What he did. What I did." Finally, I spoke. "You didn't just break the law, Ashley. You broke me." Her eyes welled up. "I know." And then came the words I'd been waiting months to hear. Not excuses. Not defenses. Just the truth. I was greedy. And lazy. And I thought because you'd always forgiven me, you always would. I thought you'd clean it up. You always did. I nodded, slowly. Until one day. I didn't. She wiped her cheek. "I deserved it." "You did." Silence again. Heavy. Awkward. She shifted. "I'm not asking you to forget. I'm not even asking you to let me back in. I just wanted you to see I'm trying." I looked at her, really looked at her, and for the first time in a long time, I saw a trace of the little girl I raised. The one who used to bring me flowers from the sidewalk. The one who curled up beside me on stormy nights. But I also saw the woman who had stolen my name. "I see you," I said. "But you can't live here again." Her face cracked. "Not yet," I added. "Maybe not ever. But that doesn't mean I hate you. I just don't trust you. And trust takes time. You'll have to earn it." Ashley nodded, crying now, but not arguing. "I understand." And that was the first honest thing she'd said in years. Forgiveness is not forgetting. It's not sweeping it under the rug or pretending it didn't hurt. It's healing without permission. It's saying, "You hurt me. But you won't own me." I didn't let her move back in. But I let her call. Once a week. I didn't attend her birthday party, but I sent her a card with her first name only. "No love, Mom." Not yet. I didn't tell her I missed her. But I did. Because the truth is, when your child betrays you, it's like losing someone who's still alive. You mourn what they used to be. You ache for what they could have become. But you don't chase them. You rebuild you. 6 months later, I finally bought myself a new couch. It wasn't fancy. Just something mine. I poured myself a fresh cup of coffee. In a new mug. No crack. And I sat down with a peace I hadn't felt in years. Because no matter what they stole from me, they didn't steal my future. When trust is broken by the people we love, it cuts deeper than any knife. But don't confuse love with loyalty. You can love someone deeply and still walk away when they become toxic. You can choose peace over pain. Boundaries don't mean bitterness. They mean self-respect. It had been exactly 1 year since the day I walked into the courtroom and testified against my own daughter. A year of silence followed by short phone calls. A year of healing, one painful breath at a time. A year of choosing peace over pretending. And then, one Sunday afternoon, my phone rang. It was Ashley. Her voice was steadier now. Calmer. She asked me to meet her at a little cafe near the riverwalk we used to visit when she was a kid. I want to show you something, she said. No drama. No pressure. Just, come if you're willing. Part of me wanted to say no. Part of me wanted to keep my walls up. But another part, the tired, human, mother part, knew I had to go. Not for her. For me. For closure. Or whatever came next. The cafe hadn't changed much. Still smelled like cinnamon and coffee. I spotted her near the window. She looked older. Not by age, but by experience. And across from her sat a man. Not Ryan. She stood up when I walked in. Nervous. Fidgety. Eyes filled with something I hadn't seen in a long time, hope. Hi, Mom, she said. I nodded. Ashley. She gestured to the seat across from her. This is Marcus. I turned slowly. The man stood. Neatly dressed. No chains. No sunglasses indoors. He reached his hand out. It's a real honor to meet you, Miss Carter, he said. I've heard a lot about you. I shook his hand, still unsure what this was. Ashley smiled faintly. Marcus is someone I met at my job. He's my manager. But also, more than that. I arched an eyebrow. She laughed nervously. Not like that. I mean, he's been mentoring me. Helping me get my finances straight. Encouraging me to go back to school. I'm taking night classes now. Accounting. I blinked. Accounting? Ironic, right? She said. Figured I should learn how money really works. I didn't smile. Not yet. I didn't bring you here just to show off, she added quickly. There's more. Something you should know. My shoulders tensed. Here it comes, I thought. The ask. The plea. The one more favor. She reached into her purse and pulled out a worn folder. Placed it on the table. Pushed it toward me. I opened it slowly. Inside was a stack of receipts. Printed bank statements. Court-verified letters of payment. I finished paying it, she said. All of it. Every penny from the loan. The restitution payments are done. Early. I stared at her. And not with someone else's help, she added quickly. I worked. I saved. I stopped spending. I got a second job on weekends. I wanted to fix it, not just legally, but morally. For the first time in a long time. I felt something stir in me that wasn't pain. It was still there. The ache. The cracks. But behind it, a glimmer of something else. Possibility. We sat in that cafe for almost 2 hours. She told me everything. About the nights she cried alone in that friend's apartment. About how she nearly quit 3 times. About how Marcus pulled her out of her spiral, not with pity, but with truth. And slowly, I listened. Not as a victim. Not as a mother desperate to forgive. But as a woman recognizing something rare, accountability. When we stood to leave, Ashley reached into her coat pocket one more time. There's one last thing, she said. She pulled out a small white envelope. Inside was a handwritten letter. Folded once. She didn't hand it to me. She placed it on the cafe table and whispered, "Read it when you're ready." I watched her walk away, back straighter, steps steadier. Not the girl who stole from me. Not yet the woman I could trust again. But someone in between. Someone becoming. Healing doesn't come in a straight line. It twists. It backtracks. And sometimes, it arrives wearing the face of the same person who hurt you. I opened the letter that night. No grand speech. No manipulation. Just this. You were the strongest woman I ever knew, and I hurt you. I know I'll spend the rest of my life proving I can be better. Not for you. For me. But I hope someday we can share that strength again. Love, Ashley. 6 months later. She asked if she could come home for Thanksgiving. And for the first time in over 2 years, I said yes. No promises. No reset buttons. Just a seat at the table. And a clock that didn't start over, but kept ticking towards something new. Betrayal doesn't always come from enemies. Sometimes, it comes from the people you'd give your last breath to. But don't confuse pain with permanence. Because even shattered bonds can be mended when someone is truly willing to change. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. It means freeing yourself from carrying the weight of what they did. And sometimes, just sometimes, they surprise you by carrying it too.